morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to another episode on Goat Media Invest. And I have got to get some help. Bitcoin. It's good to see everybody. Um,
Good morning, everybody.
Alrighty. Bitcoin ended up holding that low down here from Monday, Monday stream. Uh, I think that was right around the point where I was ending the stream. Because what I wanted to see was I wanted to see us come down and take out liquidity and then start to look for an entry somewhere down here at this section. But that did not happen. I was already in this long setup here. I was going a little bit underwater with the wick down here. So I was thinking I was going to get a chance to re-enter at a better price because from there I would expect for us to pop up pretty hard. But all we did was just consult. I mean, we're just still basically consolidating in here. Still trying to get back inside that parallel channel that's on the monthly time frame. We're still trying to get past that resistance, and we're having a hard time. But we keep hammering at it, and that's the important takeaway is that we hammered at it several times. So if we continue to be able to do that, then strong possibility that we're going to break it, get back inside the channel, then we could push up. I don't see the monthly time frame being that simple though. I just don't see it being that simple. We talked about it when we took the short entry um, from up here. We talked about it because it's major resistance there, and it's just really difficult for Bitcoin to get past that resistance. So it looks like we're rising over here. I did take a look at the 4 hour time frame, and the 4 hour time frame seems to be fine in my opinion. It seems to be okay. It's like we may, we'll see what happens today. General markets pushing up, so that's a good thing. Let me check something over here. It's not showing up. Uh. All right. But the 4 hour momentum here looks fine. You can see MACD got a little bit of downturn here on the delta. So it's showing that there is some weakness, but we could see that from the way that we're moving right through here is just indicating that we have some major resistance through here and that we also have some good support. That's basically all that is. This um, rising channel structure is letting us know that we're just trapped between support and resistance right now. You could do it going all the way up through here. Let's see, but still down on this time frame. I mean, we're still down. We're still trading down. But this is typically something that would break to the upside. A channel like this, a descending channel, is something that would typically break to the upside, but just a major resistance. Major resistance. Again, not being able to make our way back into this channel. You can see how we're riding that trend line up. You see how flat price action is against that trend line? That is where we're at in terms of being able to get through here. But even when we do this resistance right here that we got the rejection from, where we had the short setup for is major resistance. It is major resistance the same way here is our major support. So nothing right now. That was a little scalp long right there. But I'm still holding my long right now for Biddy and my short, holding them both. If there was any takeaway about the 15-minute time frame right here, it would just be the rounding top up here. that would be it, the rounding top. But the higher time frame says that it's okay. Says the price action is okay. So there's nothing to do in here right now. Um, as far as the setup is concerned. Let me just check. Let's see. Yeah, as far as the setup is concerned. Uh, oh, let me show you this. Right here on this 1 hour time frame, also as we're holding this point of control right here. Um, right across here. So you can see like this is where we were on Monday. We're getting a sweep down here, a breakdown right here, but we quickly reclaim back above our momentum line here on the RSI, quickly reclaim back above it right through here, even came back in and back tested it before we got to push up. And then you can see what we're doing right in here with this pattern right here. And we've already reclaimed back above that right now, but this is where we are. But still, the momentum line is still intact right through here. You can see it on the MACD as well that we're trying to correct out right here. This looks, I mean, sometimes they look like that though. They just look like that. But here, let me switch this out. Here you can see that the delta is chopping the zero line. So that gives you this up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, this consolidation, this overlap. That's what you get. That's what you'll notice. But the MACD itself, which is also very choppy, is still far up from the zero line. This would need to come down and cross the zero line to really start to see the breakdown. To start to see a breakdown, just like over here, across the zero line, you can really start to see more of a breakdown. But right now, it's just consolidation until it's not. There's, I mean, again, there's not really much to do in here because it's just overlap. It's overlap. Let me see. Yeah. So far, it looks like we would. So far, it looks like we would break back down below here, but um, it's just been so choppy. Like I would not be in the middle of this. I would not get in the middle of it. Just let it do what it do until you get some signs of weakness, because the overlap is not the place to be wanting to trade anything. But I mean, Reese, we have weakness. Just do you want to take that chance? Do you want to take that chance? I don't. I don't. Maybe at this point, sure, because I can see that for the first time we are below one of our trend indicators right here. But it's only one of them. The other two were not, but that particular one, we are below it now, and we just did it with this leg down right here. And as long as we respect this portion right here, then there is a chance. But again, this is maybe let it break up first if it's going to. let's see, 46. And then, dang, it may not do any more than that, to be honest. I don't know. So we'll see if we get any. Can probably get a rejection right in here. And then if we get the breakdown, then it can be more of a three, 3 to 1. But right now, yeah, you would want to see it take out this overlap right here. So I'm just gonna set it like this. And we'll see what happens in here. Because that's the only change that happened. So you can see it right. Let me get this line right here. So you're going to go through these two lows right here. And that's the first time that we actually flopped underneath it. Could have probably, I mean, we reclaimed it one time before, like right there. But actually, let me change it. I'm going to move this. I'm going to set it on these three. Yeah. So a little better. Yep. So that lines up with if it comes up right now, if this candle was to come up, be looking for that rejection right around the connection here. And let me, I just hope that it doesn't stay choppy. That's about it. I just hope it doesn't stay choppy. All right. Show you another thing too. I mean, because you can see it here. Anytime you just start chopping the area and price action starts to tighten down, you can see that you're putting in a squeeze. So you can see that this parallel right here, this particular area right here is important to the decision that gets made of whether or not price gets the breakout and at least comes back up here to the value area high, which at that point, I think price action would have made its way back into that channel on the monthly time frame, which could just lead to another rejection. But right here, if you see that, you can see that the concentration is between here, the parallel channel here. And there is, again, a chance that it comes down, but it only comes back and taps into the lower side of this channel and it doesn't actually break down. And we continue this consolidation through here. But if it does roll over, then yeah, you would be looking for price action to take out these lows. But there is a pretty good chance, just looking at this structurally, that it may just bounce off of that bottom side of this channel once again. And that is where we are in terms of Bitcoin price action. It's just a very, very, very tight range right now. So nothing to do here too much. I am going to push forward here, because I do want to cover these other things. I'm only 15 minutes in. I know I'm going to come back to Bitcoin, but I'm going to jump over on AMD's chart, okay? If that is all right with you. So I want to do a follow up of the earnings, all right? All right. So we were talking about the situation in here, and I was saying to you in the presentation that I presented to you that even if you see a pop up on AMD, it you want to be careful with that. And you can see that push up off of that candle right there. It spilled everything back off, and it wasn't. I mean, it's still holding up above the support. Just some major resistance through here. Let me get our levels in here. Um, I don't have to look at fibs or notes. Sorry. Okay, so I mean we're still far off from the major support level here, so it's still holding up very well with the areas that we were looking at, just indicating. Yeah, so, yeah. As long as we're still up here, it's still okay at the moment. I I stand by what I said, that price is very extended. So, despite the fact that when AMD did report their financials, it was a straight beat. Everything except for the non-GAAP gross margin, it was in line. So the consensus was 56%, and the actual was 56%. But everything else was a beat for AMD. The revenue, 11.31 billion to 11.34 billion was the consensus, and they beat it by a plus 50% year over year. So 11.50 billion is what they did. The non-GAAP EPS, $1.61. They beat that. It's $1.66. The data center revenue, consensus was 6.50 billion, and the actual was 6.70 billion. And then, of course, the revenue guide for 2026 to 12.50 billion ended up being like a 13 billion. So everything was a beat with the inline on the non-gap. Um, uh, let's see. Some of the things that I did notate, and I'm sorry I don't have you on my notes, so I'm just having to talk to you right now because I didn't put it together in a way that I could present it with you. It's in a private area right now. Um, the gaming segment, the 31% year over year contract in gaming highlighted ongoing weakness in console cycles and consumer hardware demand. I've heard that before. Not about AMD's. I mean, gaming. Period. Just a lot of people are. I don't know if they've taken a break from it, from gaming or whatever, but I have heard that from others working in that space. And then another thing that investors were a little uncomfortable with was the elevated bar for second half AI ramping. So the data center execution becoming a much larger percentage of total revenue. They're wary of that on the second half of 2026 revenue. So leave zero margin for error in supply chain execution and AI chip delivery schedules. And then the gross margin ceiling, the non-GAAP gross margin, it came in right at target. That's what we're talking about. That was the one thing that came in line, and everything else for AMD was a beat, but expansion stalled. And so that's raising questions because anytime AMD reports, they're comparing it to Nvidia. As AMD is on the more affordable side. So they need to, investors want to see that there is an alternative. And right now, you know, that was one issue right there. And plus the fact that, again, it's a very high valuation right now. It's very high. Toppy in here with the major resistance that's up here at these highs. And let me put on. Let's go with our fixed volume range. I really just need that one in here. So it is right around the high volume nodes, right through here. Yep, right through there. We'll see what happens here. Just give it a little bit of time. As long as it's up above here, there's nothing to worry about. Again, the second place of interest is going to come in right here. around this high volume node in this value area low here. And then if I could get a new position on AMD because I'm no longer in AMD, it would be here. We have this macro golden pocket at. But does that happen? That remains to be seen. And I haven't seen anything that, nothing yet that would make me question. Yeah, I don't see anything yet. Any cause for spookiness? I mean, we're just still again haven't moved very much. Basically in the same place, right here, same place. All right, so got that. Um, Again, I do plan to update. Why am I okay? I do plan to update when I do see something different. I'm gonna jump over onto SpaceX. And that beautiful pump up that SpaceX got before giving it all back with that little nasty wick right there. I mean, they tried. They tried. Tomorrow is going to be the unlocks. And again, the unlock tomorrow does not mean that all of that hits the market, okay? But it is a reason for, it has something to do with some of the selling in here for SpaceX as it made that beautiful attempt. It was beautiful. It was still just back here at the 786. So basically still down the same amount here. Let's see, IPO. We didn't even quite make it back to the IPO number. So whatever happens with the unlocks, again, these are areas specific, particularly that I'm looking at to just swipe, pick up a little bit more SpaceX through here. Because I bought this golden pockets and I bought this 786 and I won't buy any more until we hit one of these in here. And this is just my DCA plan for SpaceX right through here as I can see how much price action would be down against IPO. So that's how I'm playing it. 30%, well, about 31% down if we do end up losing the 786 and dropping down here to this 1-to-1. That would be the next place that I would be picking up some SpaceX and push this up. You can see that that comes in again at 93, like we discussed. But as far as SpaceX, earnings report went, and I did listen to it. It was pretty. It was a pretty good earnings call, I have to say, and everything was a beat, which is surprising. I was just expecting nothing. I was like, it doesn't matter what they report, it doesn't matter. But it was a beat, and I did see some news articles leading up into it, some partnerships and things like that. Revenue, Wall Street consensus was a 6.8 billion to 6.93 billion, and it actually came in at 7.81 billion. So that was a beat. Net loss consensus 1 billion, and it came in at a 541 million, which was a beat. So that was about half, like almost half of what the expectations were. And adjusted EBITDA 2 billion, and it came in 3.50 billion. So that was also a beat. I know that the um the capex spending and the capex spending was the thing. I knew that. And then I don't even know the lady's name, but she was talking and she was, she was saying how she didn't want to get into that. She really didn't want to get into that. But yeah, the spending. The spending has been a big thing for a lot of companies that have been reporting. So yeah, the spending. The total capex surged to 15.8 billion to 18 billion. So that's up from the 2.8 billion a year ago. It's a lot. A lot. The post again, like I said, the post IPO lockup expiry, where you have over 900 million um of shares that are going to be unlocked. But again, it doesn't mean that that hits the market. That's not the problem. That's not going to be a problem. With all of that hitting the market, I don't know how many people are really interested in selling at a loss. You know, I don't know how many people are really interested in selling at a loss. But you do you, baby. You do you. You do you. I will be your liquidity exit. You do you. Um, and then of course the Starlink AR ARPU compression just showed a drop in demand, 22% year over year. Um, so, but that was the first noteworthy bounce up, and at least it got us back above because we had the bullish divergence through here. We knew we had the bullish divergence when we were looking at it with our trend line here. That it initially got the break up above, and then you could tell that it's bullish deals because it was such a clean line. And when you break up and then you roll down like that, again, you basically put in the bullish divs down through here. So this is what we're looking at on the stream on Monday. But I posted it well ahead of time for you guys. Who did care to take a look at it. And then, of course, the bear divs that were coming in. And eventually you outplay it and you get your move, but it doesn't give you much. And that is basically where we're at. MACD and Delta. Hopefully they don't. Right now, it's still, again, it's still holding up. We're simply back. We're simply back at the 786 holding a higher low right now. So this could end up being a good thing. It could. Now, again, we're right on the cusp of a fast breakdown or MACD fast signal cross right here. And then MACD is on this Delta's tail right here. It's riding that hill, baby, riding that hill. But we're holding up above this right now. So, um, and we're still gonna have that. We're still gonna have the bullish divergence with each drop. We're still gonna have the bullish divergence. I don't care. But right now we're holding up. So we could see an actual pop off of here today once market opens, and investors have had enough time to digest all of this. We could. I just don't see it being a concern until August 20th. Again, August 20th is the automatic shares that hit the market on August 20th. The shares that unlock in terms of tomorrow, those don't that doesn't that's not an automatic. That's for investors to decide if they're gonna sell or not. But August 20th should be your main concern. So any push up from there might be a short opportunity in play as we head towards August 20th. But right now, I wouldn't put too much weight on it. But that's where we're at right now. Possibly a higher low could be in play. We could see price action move up, and I mean that would be my thing. Like prices drive higher for anticipation of the 20th, just to get people all excited and trap longs, and then start to exit some. That's my thought. All right. Um, trying to work this thing over here. Trying to work this thing. We got a couple of big names today reporting. We got SanDisk and we got Uber. So I'm gonna take a look at those. I did quite a few posts yesterday on some earnings from yesterday. I did that, and if I have time, I'm gonna cover that. Let's go ahead and because Bitcoin is still just stagnant right now. It's not moving at all. So I will take a look at SanDisk and Uber. SanDisk and Uber here. All right, where you at, SanDisk? Right here. So SanDisk looking beautiful right now. Um, I mean, when we were in here, SanDisk was about 50% down off of its 52-week high. So that was a pretty good area right here for anybody who did catch this, because this this was shared about the bounce right in here off of the momentum line right here. So that's beautiful. We have been hitting some resistance through here, obviously. But let's see if I got anything blocking. I don't. Let's see right here. Let's see what information. See, I want to see if I couldn't just pull it up from here. I love the key facts on Trading View. It's an awesome feature. Very, very, very awesome feature to have. But I wanted to see. Um, Usually they will have expectations and stuff in here, but I guess they don't have it in here right now. And why don't I have a trend through here? I don't know. I don't know. Start here. I was trying to not you. I wanted this is what I wanted. I could adjust this. Yeah, perfect. Boom, 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 boom. That perfect little bounce right there. That's gorgeous. That is gorgeous. All right, so kind of propped up on this top side of this trend line right now for SanDisk. The only okay, so for me, this was either the low, very highly. I mean, it's a good chance that this could have been the low right here. Again, this was given in advance. If it is, if it's not, then again, I'd be looking down here for SanDisk. It just really all depends. I would love to get it right in here because I would feel in here possibly SanDisk is a little undervalued. Again, it is back. It's no longer. Let's see. We were much. It was more enticing. Like it was a lot more interesting when we were pushing into the red here on the 52 week. But now we're I mean, at this point, it's leaning more towards its highs. I don't like that, so um, it doesn't entice me to want to buy it. Um, not from here, not through here. Uh, well, especially not from here. Here was good. From here, so if it drops down, you do have the 786 in here, maybe with the ascending trend line through here. That would interest me more than this right here. A little small structural change right here on the 4 hour time frame. Uh, yeah, so you can see it's sitting a little bit too close to the highs in here. So I'm not really interested in that. But it looks, I mean, look at that. Look at that. That looks nice, right? That looks nice though. That's simply where your bounce came from. That beautiful trend line right there. I don't know that. I honestly don't believe I would get that. I know that. Like you not getting that. Maybe I can get this golden pocket. Like maybe you can get this golden pocket. Take this liquidity over this trend line right here, but gal, you ain't getting this. That's a big discount. And you're not getting that. Something's wrong with my line anyway. Oh, I think it's because it's drawn off of a different time frame. I'm gonna adjust this for this time frame. Yeah, I drew it from the yeah, I definitely gotta adjust this. Hold on. I think that's good enough. Now that's more like it right there, right? That's more like it. Like maybe they can give me that. It's like, nah, you're not getting that other one though. You're not getting that other one, and then it gotta be able to break back down here too, and not push higher. Um, is there anything I see? Put it on a 12 hour. 12 hour. I'm gonna lock that in. I'm gonna take it off of the screen so it's not. Nah, I don't think it comes back down. I think this thing is locked and ready. Locked and ready. Now MACD still is a little bit off. That's fine. This is our earnings day. It can forget about all of that. And, I mean, like it's a good buy right in here. It was such a good buy right in here. Such a good buy off of the highs. Such a good buy. Let's see. We were down. Had dropped down again. Like I said, like it was like mid range of his 52-week high. So that was perfect. Like that was the perfect. I'll buy it. Yeah, perfect. Right there. But right now it's sitting a little bit too freaking close right now. Uh, Yeah, it's sitting a little bit too close to all of this up here right now. A little bit of a bear div. A little bit of a bear div right here. But again, like I said, we were holding the support right here. So on the bear div, we really got to see it break back down. And yeah, you really want to see it break back down. And if it's not breaking back down, then it's just up. It'll just go sideways and then possibly build up momentum to just continue higher. So beautiful. There's nothing for me to tell you to do in here right now on SanDisk because what you needed to do was right here, and I'd already given that probability, and that's happened. So there's really nothing for me to tell you through here. Let's see. Uh, okay. Let's see a little bit right in here. Okay. I don't know if it's just gonna sit here, if it's gonna load up, like what we what we gonna do with this? Nothing. Nothing. That's the volume right here anyway. This heat map that I put in, that's the volume anyway, but I just wanted to see it with the fixed range. But apparently it doesn't want to load, so just delete and try it one more time. I don't know if it's my PC or what it is. Okay. Well, won't be able to do anything with that. Let me see what we look like on the queue. Yeah. Yeah, you're already up off the low. The next area is, I mean, it's just basically right here. Everything just it's right there. Once it flips this, it's gone, in my opinion. Once it can flip it, and you'll be able to identify when it flips it. But once it's able to flip that, then it's probably gone. As long as you keep holding up here, it's fine. So I don't see anything. Nothing. Let me check the VWAP. The VWAP. Yeah, I mean there's nothing. You got your bounce off of that macro VWAP right here. That was in line with the momentum line in here. Um, yeah. Anyway, SanDisk. Let's take a look at Uber. Uber. My PC is going slow. Look at that. Look at that. Loading. Wow. I refreshed it this morning um, to make sure that I didn't have any lag because I leave it on all 24. It's 24 hours. 24 hours. It's on, which isn't healthy. I don't like this one anyway. But oof, oof, oof. The heck? I might have to come back over here to this. Let me see. Mm. All right. I'm gonna put us back on Bitcoin and figure out what's happening over here. SanDisk. Put us back here for a minute. Don't know what's happening over here. I hate to refresh it. I have to. Ugh. And it's gonna mess up all of my stuff. All right, I'm gonna refresh that. Well, I hit refresh on it, but it's still not wanting to load up on me. Still just reading like it's loading. Oh Lord, it would not let me get into these stocks. Jeez. Hmm. All right, so I guess while it's not letting me do that, I can't cover the two long positions I mentioned to you on Friday. I mean, on Monday that I was in, and that's Hyperliquid and Zcash, and um, what's going on with this? There's some stuff not loading. Dang, I have to hide that. Let's do Zcash right here. So I told you that I was in the Zcash setup, and we were right in here. We were right in here, and I was down. I was in a little bit of a drawdown right in here, but I understood that this line right here, this right here, from in my yeah, this right here. I can turn this off because it wasn't. I mean, I looked for confluence on it, but as far as the levels are concerned, um, it's a very important area right here where we see this overlap. The overlap right in here. This overlap makes it a key area of support, and also the overlap right here makes it a key area of support and resistance. So just this right here, this block right here made a strong area of support and resistance, and then you can see how we ended up doing right in here. So great. Actually, let me not expand these out anymore. That is where we were at. So I had them expanded. And then also that this right here met up with this measured move right here as well. That's already happened. So I'm gonna get rid of no, actually I'm gonna keep it. Get rid of that for now. We did break above. Like we chopped it a little bit through here. Looks like we might have been hitting this one right here to a T. Was hitting that one to a T. When I put them in this dark line instead of the dotted line, that means that they have more significance. Like it was a powerful area where traders stepped in, or money came in. So I do those solid, and then the other ones are more like the chop zones. So that's the chop area, and this is the swing area. That's a better way for me to explain it. The swing areas are the dark solid lines, and then the dotted lines are consolidation areas where it may have been accumulation or distribution, something like that. So yeah, so we were hitting this one and we got past it. So I've closed out the hyperliquid position. It went a little bit higher after I closed it out. Obviously, it went a little bit higher after I closed it out, but to me that looks like bearishness, bearish divergence at the highs. It doesn't guarantee that that the bearish divergence plays out, but that is what it looked like to me at those highs. But the Zcash long is still open, and I haven't taken one penny from it yet. We're above this one, so remove that now. Let's focus on this over here. Gosh. Yeah, so again, initially I was in some drawdown, and I was like, they just gonna have to take my money. I feel like that sometimes. It's a terrible way of thinking about it, but at the time, that's how I felt. That's how I feel. It's like if I'm wrong, and then we double bottom, so I got real lucky because my stop loss was set for this low right here. So I got real lucky. So I think my entry was based off of the measure move down, and then I believe like we had tapped into like a golden pocket or something like that. But even when it wasn't the best move for me, it was the best move for you guys on Monday when we were streaming because we were down here. So it was a better entry. Uh, but that's the Zcash. Now up 88% on the Zcash right now. Um, I probably need to take my little capital and get out of it. Take my little capital and get out of it. I think this is about what I was looking for, was something back into these lows right here. Back into here. Pretty close. Are pretty close. I know that we're over this. Yeah, just got over it and came back inside. So might be time to let her go. I would not have done this. For anybody who's wondering, I would not have done this one because it has nothing to do with this over here. This has to do with what's happening right through here. This has to do with everything that's happening over here. So it must be coming back inside. We might have been trading in between standard deviation 1 and 2. That's what it looks like right here. And we might be coming back down to standard deviation 1 right now. Um, yep, I was correct. I like to test myself to make sure. So you can see how this has nothing to do, this sideways has nothing to do with this area over here. So we are, yep, right there. We came back inside of that standard deviation. It might be time. Might be time. Let me take something. Need to take something off the table on this one right here. Now that we're back below that standard deviation 1, could potentially roll all the way back down here to, yeah, just broke back inside of this pattern. Just a little bit of an overshoot right there. Little overshoot. Come back in. right here. Maybe even just the center point. Uh, so let me change this to the channel instead. Yep, I'll put you like that and like that. Looks good. And if we were to just do a midpoint, I have it set for something else. And change that. That is that's solid. So I know that this part is my channel right here. So possible that we could just come back to the mid range right in here and not break down too far. One, two, three, possible. Let's see. Put that right there. That would be a 38250 just right there. Yeah. See if we just do something like that on Hyperliquid. I meant Zcash. My bad. Zcash. Zcash. Yeah. Let's see the MACD. I meant the Delta crossing the zero line right here. Delta is giving us a sell signal. MACD is still very high up, so it could just be corrective and then continuation to the upside here. So see if potential entry can come in right there. Trend is still intact at the moment, so it would consolidate before breaking down. And this would be the first area to look for a bounce from 504 to 499 is going to be the first area to look at for a potential bounce. So I am going to highlight the area, but then I'm going to pull it again. And this time I'll be looking at this, just looking at what I'm interested in. Highlighting what I'm interested in as opposed to what I'm not interested in. Because if this, let's see, I just want to see what we can pop up. Pulled that wrong thing again. Uh, see what we were doing coming up here. 1.618 was tapped right there. So if we come back in and we just do this, then it's a good chance that we would push up higher. So it's an area of interest to watch for. Okay. Right here. All right. Let's take a look at Bitcoin rolling. No, it's not moving too far. Dang, I was really hoping that it came up for that entry. Like I said, it was the first time that I could look at price action and see that the trend was shifting with that one indication that your trend, like the only one was representing a switch in the trend. Um, just one thing that was indicating the switch in the trend, and that was right through here. That's the first actual breakdown of where you had pivots that you can break down below. Otherwise, you didn't have anything that you could monitor for a breakdown below, and it started to change right through there, right through here. And again, that's the only one right there. But I was hoping that it would come up, guys. I'm so sorry. It's not. I'm just not getting the. Uh, not getting the spots that I want to see for potentials. Mm. And as this gets closer, I'm gonna shift gears on this one a little bit. That's a I can tell you what we would be at if we hit that. Let me see if it's working though, because sometimes when it's off, it doesn't. Mm, hold on, let me make sure I'm not overlooking it. I can do it from this one. I just don't want to. Nope, that ain't the one I want. That's how many times I go in and be like, changing my stuff. So many times. Uh-oh, look like I added something else. Hold on, what did I add? Oh no, that ain't what I want. Forget it. Let me just turn this on. uh, just turn this one on. Yeah. That would be back here to the bottom of the trend line right here. That's exactly where price action would be at. When it taps into this ascending line right here. So it's about, yep, it'll be right back here at the bottom side of the trend line right here. Uh, actually, it'll be right here. 867 is where price action will be at when it taps into that trend line. It's basically the same thing back here at the bottom side of the channel. And then we will look for the breakdown from there instead if we're going to get it. Right now, a little slow. MACD doing its thing right now. So a little slow. All right. Hyperliquid. See, kept going. I think I closed it out. Let's see where did I close it out at? It's not going to match up because I trade on Bluefin um and the chart is for Qcoin. I know. I think I did it like right in here. I think I did it like right in here, and then you can see how it aggressively pushed out uh, further. And we were streaming on Monday. I said to you, it took this liquidity right here. You can enter this. It's a bullish divergence, all that good stuff. I said it swept the liquidity right here, so you can enter. You can enter. So anybody who did enter, you would be in profit. You would be in profit. So I closed out around 55.6, which yep, it was right in here. So that's where I ended up closing out at. right in here. To me, it looked like it was going to break down right here, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and take my capital on it, which is what I just said about Zcash too, right? So I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and take my profits on it because it looks a little weak in here, and it was compressing in here. So we probably got bearish divergence. The rest of this has to be a bear div. Um, and it is against here, and that was why I closed out too. The bear div, I didn't see anything in here that showed me that it was going to be anything more than a correction. um, so that's why I didn't sell initially right in here on the breakdown. I didn't sell there because nothing indicated, with the MACD being this far away from the zero line, I get that it can bounce. It has to be sitting down here closer like this. It has to be sitting like this right here in order for me to think it's not going to bounce. But sitting all the way up here, that tells me that it's probably going to bounce. And I the second time though, when it came up, I treated that like, okay, I'm gonna front run it, and then it just bounced on me, and that's okay. That's okay. I don't feel FOMO to get back in it because I have Zcash open, but it was, you see the bullish divergence that we had through here, the bull divs, guys, the bullish divergence that we had through here, and we had did it again like we had did over here with the bullish divergence. Um, it's still holding up. It's still holding up. See if I want to do. I would have did it like that. See if I want to do. Yeah, I'm just gonna draw the channel on this one too, because it's just gonna save me from needing to do it. I'm not gonna use the center on this one though. Back below it. Okay, great. Let's lock it in. Uh, this one looks like it's still trading in between standard deviation 1 and 2, so it's still maintaining inside the pocket. Yeah, it's still maintaining inside the pocket. So it still looks good. God dang, still looks good. I didn't look at any of this yesterday when I decided to take my profits on. I didn't look at any. I didn't look at any of. I didn't look at Bollinger Bands. I didn't look at anything. I didn't draw any channel. I didn't do any. I didn't draw a trend line or anything. I did that trend line this morning before coming on stream. This one right here, the one that I just deleted. I didn't look at any of this. I just looked at my RSI and I was like, "Yep, I'm gonna take some profit. Take all the profit, not some profit, all the profit." Because I think I had took some one time already. Right here, I did take partial right here. So I did take partial right there, and then I left the rest of it in, and then was like, I don't want to give it back. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the rest of it out. That's what happened. That's what happened. So I did start out good, because I took half out right here, took half out right there, and then I closed out fully right in here, and it still looks good. Hmm. Back inside of the value area low. Now that's something to really take note of. The major range for hyperliquid. Let me see if I can do it from a 12 instead of going even higher. The major range right here, hyperliquid. Now I was a little FOMO-y this morning when I saw this. I know dang well I'm not gonna buy it. Not right now. I'll wait for it to see if it holds it as support. Something right here, because I don't expect. I don't, but it can. It could be that the time frame that I'm looking at um may not look strong, but the higher time frame, if it looks like it's going to do something different, then the higher time frame is the one, right? So I like the fact that hyperliquid broke back above the value area low of the major range here at these highs. That's beautiful. especially after taking out this low right here and having closed below it. Let me make sure on the daily that we close below it. Yep, we even close below it here on the daily. On the weekly, we didn't. We just look at that, beautiful, right? Hold on, yes, we did. We did close below it. Oh, nope, nope, nope. No, we didn't. No, we did not. Beautiful V shape right there. At least from this weekly time frame, it looks like a beautiful V shape. But when you look at the lower time frame, different story. Different story. And look at that. Look at that beauty. Hold on, let me hide this right here. Look at that beauty. Look at that. Just so freaking beautiful. Beautiful trend line bounce. I wish I could have seen this beautiful trend line bounce. The same beautiful trend line bounce. I don't know why it looks like it's off right here. It's probably the time frame that I used to draw it out. I probably used a lower time frame, and so that's what I got. I'm not gonna change it because that looked like that was perfect. And I don't like wicks to be hanging over anything, but yeah, beautiful. And I deleted all of the analysis that I had through here where we got um, this leading diagonal right here for the breakup, and sometimes it's a bigger. Oh man, I should have kept that position open. For real, for real. I should have kept that position open. Cause I kept saying that this could just be a correction. And from here it would bounce up hard because I would count this differently. I would count this as a leading pattern. And then you got your breakup. You got, this right here can last a while on this correction, and it has lasted a while on this correction. And then you take off for another leg to the upside. I should have kept this open. So maybe I think I deleted. Yeah, I think I might have deleted everything else. I think I might have. Uh yeah, I deleted everything else that I had in here where I did the it's on. Nah, never mind. This looks pretty good though. Um Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Put us back on this 1 hour. Were we on a 1 hour? I think we were on this 1 hour. Put that channel back on. See if we're gonna hold here, if we're gonna reject. But nice long for anybody who did not feel afraid to get in on this. Hyperliquid Bitcoin still hanging around that point of control right now, guys. So nothing there. Then there is always this uh, right here. This near protocol. And I showed y'all how initially I tried to do this long off of this trend line right here. And at first it seemed like it was going to go well, and then it nuked down through the trend line, which is what you notice on the lower time frame. When I zoom out to the weekly time frame, we don't do that. And then it comes back up, rejects. comes back up, back test the line again, and then it starts to hold the trend line. But as it's doing it, I noticed that it was just doing this thing over here. And this is the reason why you see the wicks on this one, because I'm not a wick drawer. If it's not clean, I will draw off of the body. If it's not clean, and see, it wasn't clean, so I ended up doing it off of the body instead. But when it's a clean trend, I will just go with the wicks. It still did a little bit of an overshoot right there. Uh, and even down here, uh, right here. And this is why I prefer to not do, unless, like I said, if it's not clean, I will use the body. Um, but what happens when you don't use your wicks is you see things that are not actually breaking down. You see things that you think are breaking down that are not actually breaking down. Sometimes I'm just checking to make sure those lines are straight. And then that way I can turn it off and actually see like what we're doing when we do a push down by using my wicks. But it wasn't that clean when I was looking at it, so I put it on the body instead. But like this, with your including your wicks, it's good for where you actually break down and back test. And it got a back test and breakdown. Yeah, it's this thing right here. But this nice, beautiful trend line right here, and let me just do this number right here. Do it like that. Uh, I'm gonna leave this in here. Just current interval. Yeah, just gonna let it show right here. So on this trend line right here, into these two areas down here, I end up having to draw out these areas because we did the break right there. But on the weekly, not as clean as Hyperliquid, obviously. Hyperliquid did a better job. So you'll see that we didn't close below it, but we dropped below it. So I was trying to see it. That's why I took the trade right here for starters, and that's why I shared it on X, like the possibility that we could see the bounce from here was because of that. And I still have that loan set up sitting in here in this folder, sitting over here in my object tree, just to remind me. But yeah, like this right here, you would have to take the wicks out. You got to take the wicks out right here. Um, for what's happening right here, you got to take the wicks out. Let's see. Let's try to get this as clean as possible. Let me do, because otherwise you can't draw this one out. I mean, you can, but I'm gonna lighten it out. And there is nothing to connect here at the bottom except to do, that's too big. Let me change that to one. Except to do something like this. And if we don't have a lot of wicks at the bottom, then we can set it back a little bit just to make it look more uniform. Set it like that. We don't have the big wicks to the bottom, then maybe I could use it. I do got these large wicks through here. Let me see if that chiseled. If that chiseled, yeah, that chiseled. Probably go with that. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that because that did chisel. It still leaves this down here that I don't like. Uh, I'm being extra anal. Sorry. Extra anal. Um, that's still gonna have that overshoot down here at the bottom. But maybe it comes back and it bounces off of the trend line again. If it doesn't do that, then maybe this one, the one that drops, since you do have this touch point, and that was very clean. Those two touch points right there were very clean. So it would have made a lot of sense for me to have the interest in taking the long off of this trend line. But ugh, yeah, you can't draw it off of these wicks. You have to take those out. And so even on the correction, it would have had to been you would have wanted to draw it like you can still use this wick right here or use no wick. Hold on. You could still use this one because this one isn't a big wick, but you're not going to draw this all the way up there. Anyway, that sucks. I'm going to take that off. Just look at the levels in here. And these are from the lower time frame. That's why it's overlapping like this. It's from the lower time frame. As far as the higher time frame is concerned, it would have been right here at this high and I think we missed it. I think we missed it by a little bit. Yep, we missed it. We missed it by a little bit. It would have been that price action comes back into here, but we missed it by a little bit. I don't know why I ended up getting an obsession with near. Don't know why I did. Hold on. I wanted to see where that price action came back up to. So I gotta fix these lines right here. I think it would be these two right here. Bam! Bam, bam. Bam, bam, and thank you, ma'am. Look at that. Look at that. This makes me feel like I need. You see how I drew the trend lines off of the lower time frame, and then I come over here, and then this is what I get. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it. It looks so funny now. It looks so weird now. But you can see what we did right through here. Resistance was gonna come in up here anyway. But you can see what we ended up doing off this 12 hour right here. But yeah, I hate how sometimes you draw the lines and it doesn't seem to me like it should have struggled right in here. This space, this is open space, and it's flagging. It's flagging through this open space. Because this was our area that we were holding right here. Value area low was across this bottom down here too. Um, it just looks sucky. It just, I don't know. It's like I really want to find that entry on this thing, but it looks sucky. I didn't even bother coming over here. I don't go through all of these time frames. I just don't daily. I'm gonna wait on this though. Look at that. Pure rejection. Pure rejection. Right there. I'm gonna wait on this one on the daily time frame. Yep. Put that alarm on that baby. And look, I've taken a few near chances and I've lost money. That's the reality. I've taken a few chances on near, and I show you how I have lost. Actually, let me see what was the last one. I'd be like, man, every time I think I'm figuring near out, like, take it right here. It's like, nope. Crap turns around and I'm making it up elsewhere. It's because it's a trash coin. And I should not be trading trash coins. I should not be trading trash coins. Near's trash. I took that L on there. I've had some wins too. I'm gonna just share these losses though. On near. Near pisses me off. Cause every time I think, and I start out in profit. I do start out in profit. I don't take the profit then, and then that's how I end up in the loss. I'd be like, just let it come back a little bit and see, because you don't want to close it out too early. Another L near. I hate it. I hate it. Yeah, that was it. That was it. They keep getting me. I gotta think about, should I even try it again when the time is right. Ugh. Let me go back to the weekly so I can block this. And then that way, if I need to look at it, then I can. But otherwise, it doesn't come with me when I go to look at another time frame. There's no trend, nothing. See, that daily is the one that we were just looking at. That daily is green. That daily time frame is green. I would expect for the daily time frame to be green too, being that near came back into its momentum zone from a higher time frame. I would expect for the daily to be green too. It's just how quick you can lose or win on there. Got a trend regression. That was the one from that pattern from the higher time frame. How we're chiseling right here. All right. Um, let's see if I can't go back over here. Um, see if I can't go back over here and take a look at. I think Uber's a. I think Uber's uh, a good buy. Like, do you go all the way in? Um, maybe not, but I think it's a great accumulation area. So I can come back over here now, um, since it cleared up. Who went long on Palantir? Didn't I tell you it was a buy? It was a buy. I bought. I said AMD is not a buy, and it might end up popping back up. We'll see. Because the trend regression on AMD's RSI looks beautiful. But didn't I tell you Palantir was a buy? It was doing too much. It's a good company. It's a good company. A lot of people don't like Palantir. That's, do you like money? Although all money ain't good money, we're still just ranging right now. So we're still in, sideways. No matter how far back you push it out, we're still sideways in here right now off of Palantir. But beautiful, beautiful, beautiful break to the upside here on Palantir. But yeah, we're still. Actually, let me check on something real quick and make sure I haven't got stopped out over here. Okay, I didn't. Oh, shit, we bumping. I was afraid I was getting stopped out over here. Uh, uh, what happened? That's something else I got to get into. I was looking at something else that I'm in. Um, but yeah, beautiful pop. We were talking about, the fact that it had bounced to here. If this wasn't going to be the one, but I bought like before earnings came out. I was like, screw it. I didn't buy using any margin. I just bought it using my own capital because if it didn't get the bounce from here, then I was going to buy some more right here. It was just that simple for me because it was, to me, I feel like Palantir at the moment is undervalued and it was a strong beat on the earnings. So anybody that did, I did a whole write up. I put it on X days before and I covered it um on Monday before they reported. I covered it with you and you had time. Like I really put some work into looking at this. So anything I do, really, I put work into it. It's some days, like, and I'll tell you, I really didn't care. But beautiful on Palantir. That's one of the loans right here. Palantir. Uh, ba, 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 ba. Some other loans. You saw the SanDisk one. That was cool. We did because these are companies that recently reported earnings, and I felt like they were oversold in a sense, like undervalued. That's the word. I don't want to say oversold. Undervalued. Um, that reported earnings, and I felt like a long position was the move for them. We did ARM Technology. There were two setups in here for ARM Technology. The one that I took on the margin, I'm gonna drop this down to a 4 hour. The one that I did on the margin, I have closed out, but I bought it personally with my own money as well. And so we really started to move. Yeah. So actually when we got this initial pump up here, that entry was, it ended up being a stellar entry too. When we got that this initial push up, I didn't take profits on it. I actually waited to see how we were going to do right through here. And it was like, okay, I can just go ahead and close it out. Actually, no, I took it right here. I took it right here. I said, I'm gonna go ahead and close it out because I still own it, and I just closed this out. So I did that. Sad. I'm really sad about that because I could have still been sitting here in some margin. I always do that. I got weak hands. I have very weak hands. Very, very, very weak hands. So I'm looking for something up to here. We also did Amazon. We also did Amazon, and I closed out Amazon right here. Where you see these right here. I closed out Amazon right here. Now, the two setups that we did have for Amazon, I'm looking at something up here for Amazon. We completed some sort of little, I was looking for an entry to the downside on Amazon. But look, you see up here, big disposal set to hit the market on Amazon. That's because the man himself, Bezos, is selling, and he has to. He got to have that capital to invest, right? He got to have that capital to invest, but it's going to be a lot. And I posted that on X also the moment I saw it, because when we were coming down here on, actually, let me do this right here first. So the Amazon, there were two setups given here on Amazon. One of them I've already deleted out of here, but that one actually held up if you go look at your higher time frame. That one was still one that you could have taken. The second one was one that did not get hit, which I ended up telling you that I took the position anyway, and it was because we were sitting at the golden pocket. So I went ahead and took the entry on this one. But the way I had it set up was, where's it at? Where's the long entry? Huh, that's weird. Hold on, let me see where I'm at. No, it should show. Make sure I didn't stick it in here. I didn't stick it in there. You have to go back to X. Yeah, you have to go back to X, and you'll see where I also posted where I went ahead and took my profits out of Amazon as well. Um, right in here, we were hitting some resistance in here. I think I was on the. Was I trading the 24 hour? Nope, I couldn't have been. Was I trading the 1 hour or 2 hour? I might have been trading this one right here. That's weird that I can't see that long setup. What am I looking at right here? That's something old from back there. Huh. But anyway, no, not Amazon. I did not take the along on Amazon. That's why I don't see it. I did not take along on Amazon. It was Google. It was Google. So I did need to come over here and talk about Amazon though, because like I said, Bezos is going to be selling off quite a significant amount of Amazon. He already filed. He filed the 144, and usually when I see it's already been filed, they already selling. So what I noticed on Amazon was when we started to get that correction on the third, which you can see right here, approximate date of sale reads the third, right? But they still, we'll find out today. Well, no, he actually, I think he filed this yesterday. Yeah, he filed this yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Because yesterday morning I saw it and I posted it on X. First, I just posted he's selling, and then I came back and I shared with you the amount and stuff, so you can see this humongous amount to be sold into the market. You see that humongous amount. You see the value on this. Do you see the value? There's 40. Oh, let's just round this number up. $41 million of Amazon shares. $41 million of Amazon. That's the value to hit the market by the man himself, Mr. Bezos. Mr. Bezos. Jeff P. There you go. Jeffrey P. Bezos. And y'all be complaining about Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor sell 12 Bitcoin and everybody be in the uproar. Do you see this number? Do you see this value? Complaining about 12 freaking Bitcoin. Anyway, I'm pretty sure Mark I'm not Mark. Yeah, Jeffrey. Pretty smart. He gonna sell into this strength. But yeah, It's trying to push up a little bit. I did decide to do a little long in here. Even though I know that this right here is going to happen. I decided to do a little bit of a long in here. But I'm gonna get my behind out of this thing uh, pretty soon. I'm over here on BTCC and the little long. As I had to check and see, and seemed like let me check and see if I don't got stopped out because market might open and then it just fall over. That could be the case for Amazon, but we'll see. I'm trying to long though. Um, Trash that. Let's see, cover Apple real quick. Okay, that Apple entry just fired off. I was going to share this, so I was waiting. You can see I was waiting for it to come back into here. Well, I was waiting to see if we got the rejection so I could post it, but I'm sorry. It looks like it just tapped it in right here. If it's going to hold up, because I was looking to see if we were going to reject either at this trend line right here or at the pivot. It ended up rejecting at the pivot. Um, so. Uh, I was liking it on the 1 hour, but I can't like it. I don't know if I can like it anymore. I was liking it on the 1 hour, hoping that it's the dang 1 minute this is gonna close. So I was liking it over here. Looks like it will put in some like it could put in some bullish divergence. I was gonna share it. Oh, let me get this off of here because I don't want. Let me just slide it all the way over. Yes, I was looking for it to come back in and tap these highs right in here for a long setup for you guys that I could, say if it aligns with your technical analysis, shoot, you might be able to take it right here. The biggest thing that I think that Apple could do it would be to come down here where you have this 283 at. So right here, the pivot down here is what I'm looking at. You got 786 down here too, but the pivot right here. Uh, I need for you to get back up there because I had just looked at my own position. Because when I took it, and I took it same area, I took it from right here where that bounce is happening from, but I took it over here. So I was up, and now it had just come back in. So I'm only up like a point. Yeah, it's fluctuating. It's fluctuating. 0.89%, less than 1% up or whatever. Oh boy. But yeah, I was gonna share this. This thing gonna have to come back up. But it looked like it was gonna put in some bullish divergence right in here. But dang, dang Apple. And then I know I'm gonna be waiting on the 4 hour to see if the 4 hour wants to stay up or if it's not. Because again, I posted it on X when we were, but we talked on stream about this being a rejection point anyway, because it was very high going into earnings. That was probably going to sell off, just like AMD. That was probably going to sell off because it was pretty high going into earnings, and they're also baking in the fact that Tim Cook is leaving. So, or maybe Tim Cook is gone now. Also baking that in, or is it September? September might be his last month. They're baking, they're that's having some impact on it also. I mean, just have to deal with the chop right now. Just have to deal with the chop right now, unless it just absolutely rolls back down. Have to deal with the chop. MACD pretty far off right now. The closer it gets, the more likely the trade would be to work out. So sometimes waiting is better, but I just went ahead and did this thing. Uh, I just did it. I hope it can still hold up. It is not that one. Yeah. So this is again, I posted this on X. This is what I would be looking for on a larger correction. I would be looking right here. Golden pocket right now. That's great. On a larger correction though, I would be looking right here for Apple entry. And I think that this is also going to line up with macro VWAP. I should have had a note up here. I don't see that note showing up. So yeah, that's also going to line up with macro VWAP right here at my pivot point right here. So I like this right here for a bigger buy on Amazon. If this information is useful to you in the stock market and you're looking to catch those swings, those big swings, then do hit that like button, okay? Subscribe. Um, just, do something to make me feel good, okay? Okay, thank you. It is much appreciated, very much appreciated if you hit the like button. This is overall what I'm looking at because I like this. I like macro VWAP right here. I like that. I like the fact that I recognize this as a strong pivot point for Apple right here. I recognize it as a strong pivot point for Apple. You also have the ascending trend line through here as well. So that's your major confluence right there for Apple would be right in here. But if it does bounce from here, then that's a good little chop suey position right here. You never know. Things could change and it could, decide it's going to push back up. But it's a bit high in here. In order to want to take any entry, it had to move away from these highs at least somewhat. But it's still pretty high right in there. So there you have it right here for Apple. And then Google. I'm looking for a sell entry here on Google. It's not set to go yet. I did post it on X saying that it still needs confirmation, and you can see it's still pushing up. Right now, it is still pushing up. So it still needs the confirmation. But I'm looking right here in this area. If it gets beyond this area right here, then I might have to drop the idea of looking at it. I know that it was having a struggle right here. It was having a struggle right underneath this node right here. And then of course, it's always going to line up with your or it should. If it doesn't, then if the high volume nodes do not line up with your support and resistance areas, go with your support and resistance areas. Something's causing the market to get a big pop right now. I see Amazon just popped up a whole lot more. Oh yeah, baby. We up. I'm up 12% now. All right. But it was having a little bit of a struggle right through here. Again, I'm looking right in here. I know we had the bearish divergence here on this push here. Bear deals were coming in across here as well. Bear deals have not played out yet, obviously. That's why it's still pushing up higher. And that's why I said it needs confirmation when I posted it, that it needs the confirmation. You can't just enter it without the confirmation. I know that we're relatively high in here. I can change this. I'm not going to change it right now. I'm going to leave that like it is. Hold on. Let me check Q. Check the Q again. Yeah, it's not coming. It's not coming down to it right now. So no go on this for now. It's a no go right now. I'm not going to go with that trail. I'm going to go with this one right now. Let's see. Let me look back down. Yeah, it's still holding up. See, it was getting really tight. It's getting really tight across here too. Um, for me, the way I do it, like naturally, I would have looked at it and I would have set it like this. Looking at the chart, I would have been able to see, which is why it was a no go right away. It was a no go right away because looking at the chart, I can see that we're not around anything that would cause it to break. So just adjust until it starts to look a little bit tighter. And here it started to look tighter, and it has the bearish divergence right now. So this could, with confirmation, see the breakdown with confirmation. See the breakdown. See the bear div. See the bear div going on right now, and these little candles pushing up. Delta sitting very close to the zero line too. So that's where your weakness starts to come in. Delta sits very close to the zero line. That's going to be another key thing. Choppy. It's just going to be a correction though, and it may not even come all the way back down here to this trend line. It may not even do that. It may not even do that. See that? Get closer to this zero right here. So it needs the confirmation, but I'm watching in here again. I'm watching in here around this stuff right here, around this to see what it does. What will it do? It looks like. Oh, let me check this Bollinger. I could check this Bollinger. Yeah. Still trading in between that standard deviation 1 and 2 right now. So the breakdown below there is going to be a key thing. And so you can see how where it first did it right here. But this is you had nothing. There was nothing over here. There was nothing over here that if it happened, you didn't this is just a straight line so far. This right here was just a straight line. But now if it does it, then you'll have this pivot right here to compare it with. So you could probably have a chance of it doing, and if it takes out this low, closes below this low and then comes back up like that, and then look for it to come down. So it could be like that. Um, maybe a golden pocket back test after you see it break this, change. Well, yeah, have a change of character right in here, and come back up and then come down like that. Something to look for Google if it happens. But anyway, Google, we had long setups. That was the idea going into earnings for Google was to have the long setups, and I did have the long setups for Google. We had two setups in here for Google. We had one that was a little bit. I think the first one was. I think the first one was right here. I think the first one was right in here or something. I can't remember. I had to look at it on X. And then the second one was below here. So they were really close together. The second one was below here because I was looking for it to come into my pivot, which it did not do. So I was looking for it to, let me see which pivots I'm using. I was looking for it to come into this pivot right here, which would have been in line with the ascending trend line right here. That's what I was looking for. The other long, I deleted it for some reason. It never came into it, but I did play the golden pocket. I shared with you guys. I took the long position here on Google despite that. Actually, I see where I closed out. Honey, I didn't even get this trade anytime. I see the market pushing up. Bitcoin is just got a nice little, it's following. Um, it's not at that entry just yet. And we have to look back over there at that entry. Um, I actually closed out right here. I closed out right here. I said I will. I said I'm closing out. I'm gonna take my money on this right here, and then I'm gonna reconsider my entry. Reconsider a new entry a little later on. Why did I do that? I don't know. I just have weak hands. I don't know because the idea was for it to come all the way up here, and it's beyond that right now. But I, oh Lord, I just don't like. I don't know why I do this everywhere. I don't care what asset class it is. I have to buy it with my own money. If I'm buying it on margin, I have a hard time holding it. If I buy it with my own money, it's a different story. But on margin, it's a different story. And I didn't buy any with my own money. I bought it on margin. So when we got here, I was like, okay, this pivot right here might be a little stickler. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna step out, and then I'm thinking I have a chance to get into a new position on it. I'm thinking it comes back in here a little bit, reassures me, and then I can get back in. That doesn't happen. But anyway, another good long entry off of earnings took place right here with Google. Another good entry on earnings, just recognizing where things are at a point where you want to consider getting in. So that takes me to let me go over here to my earnings because I was trying to take a look at Uber. Oh, it worked that time. They reported this morning. Have they already done it? Yep, they've already reported. Let's see what we got in here. Ah! Ah! That's fine. That's fine. My feelings, I'm still buying it because I recognize Uber is a good company. Good companies can go south. I understand that. Good companies can go south. But Uber is a good company. A little miss there. Um, that's not very likable. I like this little pattern that Uber's in right through here. And even if it did drop down, I know where I'm looking to to put in margin on it. Where I will be looking to get in on margin on it. This was initially what I was looking at right here because I was thinking that this would lead to more downside back when I did this. I was thinking that that would lead to more downside right here because I think that we had got a rejection here off of the 382 50% retracement is what I was thinking happened right in here. Let me make sure. That's usually when I do this, is because of that. So I think right here. It ended up being a 382 50% rejection. It was a while back when I did the analysis on this, so bear with me. And sure enough, that's what it was because that's when I usually do this. So it got the rejection off of the 382. So I knew that there was a possibility of me looking a little bit lower in here. Um, and it may have only done like a one to one. Hold on, why am I doing a one to one? I mean 50, which is not commonly used for me. 50 is not commonly used for me. Um, I'm so used to using this right here, Golden Pocket 786. But I'm bullish on Uber. It's at an accumulation area. It is. This is accumulation area for me. And when I look at this, it's at an accumulation area for me. You can see how it's been hitting this VWAP up here and all that good stuff. And I thought I had notes in here. I could have sworn I put a note up here. I don't know what these notes are right here. That's different. Yeah, this was back. This was a couple of months ago, because that's where this was done. So this has been a little bit right here. I knew that initially I was looking for a mean reversion on the 3 month time frame. We got that mean reversion. I had it for 69.94 to 59.43, 69.94 is, yeah, so it came in right here at the weekly level. So it gave me some confidence right there that it came in right here at this weekly level. And then 59.43, which this golden pocket lines up with what I would have been looking at. And this is a major with the solid line going out. That's how I've trained myself right here, right now, with the solid line going out. It's a good area right here. So this is a buy. This is a buy. So if you're looking to accumulate something, and never financial advice, if you're looking to accumulate something and hold it for a nice swing, this is a buy. This is buy. This is buy zone. This is buy zone right here. This is buy zone. It's a $10 difference. So whatever you get, understand that this is a buy zone for Uber. I really hate the earnings. Had a little surprise in there. I'm gonna have to take a look at the full thing to see what's really happening here with Uber. Um, yeah, definitely got to take a look at the this overall. Um, Bitcoin's getting a little closer to that level, so I'm gonna jump back over there to Bitcoin. Um, but some of the other ones, I did share my insight on X, so that those have been posted. You can check those out. Saying this won't be until later. Um, we're back to this again. Okay, Mickey D's. I think McDonald's is a good buy. It's at accumulation level. I never got a chance to really explain the idea behind McDonald's, but since you're here, let's talk about it. This VWAP right here, this ascending trend line right here. One thing McDonald's has not done since 2015 is not bounce away from that macro VWAP when it comes into it. And it's not just this one. I could do another macro VWAP. But anytime McDonald's since 2015 drops into its decade VWAP, it bounces away. And it has been that way since 2015. So I like this area right here for Mickey D's. It's a little slow right now. So all I put in the post was if history repeats, then it will bounce from here. Now I can show you by putting it on. And let's go to a monthly. All right, so you can understand this trend line as well, right here. Why this trend line looks the way this trend line looks. This was included in the post for Mickey D's. Let me hide that right now. All right, so this was the COVID. This was the COVID C-19. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that word. This was the C-19 pandemic right here that caused this big wick down right here. But let me hide this. Also, and you can see exactly where we are here for McDonald's right now. Um, the trend line is two ways you can do it. One is to take the wick out um, completely. The way I did this one was I just used this bottom side of this, the bottom side of this candle right here from where it opened. I just used that. But you can do it like this, and you'll notice that we're actually holding. So right here, it's just one of those situations where you take the wick out, connect, and you can see how clean the bounce ended up being during COVID. Oh, Bitcoin ain't letting us in this trade. Not this short. Uh-uh. Let's see if it rejects up here though. But you can see how it connects there, and then you can see where it's at in relation. This one right here works too because it's coming. It's interacting with the same trend line right here, and so that's why I went with that one. But just for clarity, so you can understand it, this is a great area right here for McDonald's. Now, can it absolutely fail? It can absolutely fail and drop down and come much lower. It's just the fact that I noticed that since 2015, whenever it came into the macro VWAP, which is its decade long VWAP, that it's not it doesn't whenever it comes into it, it bounces away. So it came into it right there. When you first start out a new decade, don't take that into account because that's where the VWAP squeezes. So you don't take that into account. The VWAP comes up to recalculate that it's in a new period, right? You see that there. You see the other one here where it came into that VWAP and then it bounced away right there. You can see over here, it came into this VWAP and it bounced away. And it has been this way. What year did I say? That's probably going to give me a problem. So I'm going to do it like this. I don't see where we touched it again through here, but you can see that VWAP right there means everything to McDonald's price action. Here it did come below it right here, but that 10 year, and I can turn these all off if they'll turn off. I don't know. Sometimes I have to repeat. This is, of course, where it resets, so you can end up with something like that on a reset. On a reset, you can end up with something like that. And I think I meant to say, I don't know what year I said. I'm not sure which year I said. But again, on a reset, you have to excuse it because that happens on resets. We're not near a reset right now. After when it's above and it comes back and it back tested, that's different. That's the stuff that I'm talking about. When it's above it and it comes back and it touches it, it bounces away from it. That's just how it has been. It's just how it has been. On a reset, that's gonna look different. But right here again, right through here we are. Um, and we're getting to a point where it is gonna come into a reset when we get to the end. I think how many years are we in so far? I forgot this won't read it to me like that. I ain't got time to be trying to. I ain't gonna do this damn math. I'm not about to do this math, but you do the math. We need to be 10 years. We need to be 10 years. Hold on. So we got a while. We got a while to go. We got a while to go before we see a reset. But I like it. I like it. That's just my feelings. It's probably a 20 SMA. I don't know, but I'll definitely take a look at that, see if it is a 20 SMA. I don't know why this background keep coming in here on me. All right, I'm about to jump back over to Bitcoin. I didn't realize that it was 8:30 already. I never streamed this long. I am totally off my for that COVID and back up. Let's see. Yeah, trading in the pocket. Trading in the pocket. I like this. And I have to like it until I can't like it anymore because when it stops working, this is where it goes. That's my thoughts. This wick, they come back in and they chew this up. They chew back up that C19 period. Eat into that, which is in perfect alignment with the 20 SMA right now. But right here, I love it. Subbought. And then I have to decide if I need to let it go. Sometimes you just need to let things go because you're wrong. But if history repeats, it continues from here. It continues from here. All right, so that's what I had to say on that. That's what I had to say on that. Bitcoin before I go. Oof, oof, oof. Yeah, so and I was supposed to do the spy. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I have to do the spy. I have to do the spy because I called that. Shoot, I looked at spy. It was um it was on the 30th. On the 30th, I looked at spy. I flipped to a 12-hour time frame to look at spy that day. We were down here because we had I was streaming that same day and I was like, yay, we finally hit that target one for this move to the downside. And then I went to check and see like what's happening right now because um it might not do the next one. It might not do the next one. And when I looked at it, I said, God dang, spy looks strong. So I went on X that day, the 30th. Yep, this day right here. I went on X that day. I said, spy looks real strong on a 12-hour. But I needed to wait for it to confirm. And it was, yeah, it confirmed. It confirmed. It confirmed. Beautiful. Beautiful. I saw the delta was coming up close to that zero line. The bullish divergence from that. The bullish divergence from delta coming up towards that zero line. The momentum line on the RSI was descending like a triangle, like a flag. That was all I needed to be like, this thing looks strong. And boom. I mean, boom. Boom. And I could have dropped. This wouldn't have made sense if I did drop it, though. It would have made sense. I mean, our our beautiful trend line right here where we did get that break. Like it was really hard to even get this part right here. It was really hard. That's why I was like, finally. I'm getting a little bit of a rejection over here on Bitcoin, but I still need to get some confirmation on whether or not that short entry is going to be something worth taking. But I just needed to hit you up with that because I put it in the stream profile and I didn't take a look at it yet. But man, that thing was right for the picking. That thing was right that day. Man, it just looked. I was like, man, the 12-hour looking strong for SPY. And I stayed concerned about the short position up until we finally hit this target. So that's it. It don't do the rest of it. It don't do the rest of it. It's looking good. Beautiful, beautiful. If I move out to another time frame, you'll see that we're hitting the top side of our rising structure. Which time frame can I put this on to actually tell? Uh, I actually don't. Actually, I guess we're not. I guess we're not. Because when I looked at it, okay, I was like, I looked at it somewhere and it looked like we were tapping it. I think this is gonna. I think I'm gonna have to redo this. That way, I can put the deviation in here, and in case it does decide it wants to take this out and it doesn't roll back into it. I might have to do that on this to give a deviation since we really don't have anything else to go off of. Let me see if maybe this could be the deviation right here. This could be the deviation. Let's just let me see what the Bollinger Band was looking like at the time. Yeah, I can for sure use this as the deviation right here. So I'm going to hide this one. You can see that we were at that one there. I can take this away because that's no longer needed. I'm going to get rid of this now. And actually, let me get rid of our trend line right here too. So I'm just going to delete that. It can always be redrawn, right? It's just a trend line. Put it back to how we were using it. And then set it up like this. So beyond this point right here, where it is, beyond here, I would look for it to push up into the top side of this trend line right here is what I would be looking at for SPY. I'm going to lock this in right here because you're not going to get the information from here. I'm going to take this away so we have a little bit of a cleaner range to look at. Of course, the other thing would be to do your fib extension on this, but I'm really liking back up here is if it gets past that trend, then that is what I would be looking at. I'll be looking at this trend line right here though, since this is so far up here. Yeah, can't do that when it's past that. So, oh, my 1.272, which is a max pain level right here, and then another max pain level right there. But I like the top side here of this. Even though we had this situation right here, I still like this. You can see how we respect it. This is the only time that it actually deviates below it for this falling channel right here, which falling channels break to the upside. I could have also looked at this, but nah. Here on the SPY, looking beautiful. All right. So it looks like Bitcoin is trying to get that little rejection right there at that short entry, given potentially. And then from here, I'm gonna go, but I did need to cover that SPY chart. Let's see how. Oh man, Zcash just popped up even harder. Ah! I have to forget about that. I have to forget about that entry right now because Zcash is rolling, baby. It's rolling. It's rolling. Hyperliquid might be running into some trouble right now, but Zcash is ooh. Let me see what I got happening right here. Yeah. So you can't do this until it rejects back down and comes back in. You can't do it. You can't do it until it comes back in. So I would be very careful about trying to do it while it has come back up above this trend. I'd be very careful about doing it. So let's allow it to stall out first. And then if it comes back in, if it goes beyond the boundaries of this channel, forget about it. Okay, just forget about the whole thing. But if it starts to reject from where it is right now, the same way it did all these other times right through here with these top and tail, top and tail, top and tail, and gets pushed flush back underneath here, and then starts to roll in, then you can do it. But right now, yeah, it's a no go. It's a no go. Other thing to wait on is going to be for the MACD to get closer to zero. You don't want to mess with it too much as long as your MACD is pretty high off from your zero line, because that just means that it continues to consolidate and push higher. So don't try it. Don't try it like that. Allow it to come in to it, to get closer to it, to evaluate it, and then be able to, and then take it. But be careful trying to do it as long as that MACD is that far away from zero. It just means it's correct. It's consolidating. It's consolidating is what it's doing when it's that far away. It's just consolidating. It'll consolidate and just keep going higher on you, and you'll keep trying to catch rockets. Okay. And unfortunately, my time has run, and I've went over my time. Let me 15-minute over here. I don't really trust the 15 right now. It's a little bit too noisy. Yeah, they playing way too much. Playing way too much. You see the trend regression right there. But they playing way too much right now. Is that just bull divs? No. Yes. No. No. Nothing. Oh, I'll tell you what. Yeah. That alligator mouth um has some short term volatility as we started to compress with these two right here. But that alligator mouth with these fanning to the upside, and bird feathers fanning up, it's flying. It's still flying because the feathers are up. It's gliding. It's gliding. It's gliding. It's gliding. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. It's gliding. All right. Huh. Let me make sure nothing popped up here. Okay, so nothing besides that 144 for Amazon. Just wanted to check that before I left because I didn't check in on that. Um, all right. I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you for being here. I'll see you in the next one.